Hi guys, welcome back. So let's look at the individual nations now in the Road to Tokyo series. What progress have they made post Six Nations? Now looking at England's results, they actually had a pretty good Six Nations, I would say. They started fantastically against Ireland, and their starts to their games have been a real positive for them. They get into their game quickly, they get into their stride quickly. It's more the finishes that have been the problem for them. But they blow away Ireland. That was a really good result. Then another big result against an awful French, to be honest. And then against Wales, they come unstuck because they come up against the champions, the championship mentality, which really defeats them there. Then another good performance against Italy, and then the crazy schizophrenic performance against Scotland, which we talked about in the last video. So they've had two bad halves. But the bad halves have got a clear theme to them. But there are plenty of positives. So let's look at those positives. This is what we're going to do with each nation. Look at positives, negatives, best 15, and then what that means towards the World Cup. So positives. Right, they've got loads of power. They've, not unearthed, but, they've brought their power together with Tuilagi, Cokanasiga, all the forwards, Billy, didn't even have Mako in that championship. So they've got loads of power, size, but they've also got lots of skill in there. Slade's really stood up, which is good for them. Daly adds skill into the back line. And there's some nice touches actually. Curry, I think, has got really good hands. Billy's got really good hands. Mako, when he's back's got good hands. George has got great hands. So it's all there. They've just got to put it together. They've had some good line speed and defence. Definitely put some good pressure up when they get their line speed organised. And as a player who's come through, Joe Cokanasiga is a real prospect. I would have liked to have seen him against Scotland. I'm not quite sure why they didn't. Noel played quite well, but you've got to take Cokanasiga to the World Cup. He's a special player. So weaknesses or disappointments, if you like. Well, it's the leadership, isn't it? It's that tactical awareness. Who's stepping up and saying, hang on guys, let's change? And at the moment, the answer is no one, really. Farrell's a good player. He knows what he's doing, but he's at fly half, and that's very tricky. He's got a lot of stuff going on in his head. There's a reason why coaches like forwards as captains, particularly second rows, back rows, is they can see the game, they can read the game. They've got more of a physical job. They've got a bit of mental freedom there to think about the game. So which of England's second rows and back rows can actually step up and think about the game rather than just do? They've got lots of good doers. So that wasn't good. And their defensive positioning is their other big work on it. It can get very ragged at times. They're good at getting up and off the line, but actually reading defences, knowing when to drift, when the numbers are on, how to deal with really tricky players like Russell, not the best at. Who's had a poor championship player-wise? Well, actually, I think it was a player who really didn't get picked, and that was Danny Care. He's got to be sitting there thinking, I could have made a difference in this game, in this team. And he's gone through Robson and Spencer. It may well be just a tactical thing to try and work out who the third choice is, but not a great, but not good for Danny Care's motivation and his confidence. That's not great. So their best 15. So at the moment, I think it's Mako, George, Sinclair for sure. That's a really powerful front row. Itoje and Cruz, I would say, although there's some good options in the second row. Wilson, Curry and Billy, back row. Youngs, Farrell, half-backs. May, Cokanasiga on the wings. Daly at full-back and Tuilagi, Slade in the centres. I think it's got a good balance. It's a good mix. Like I said, they need to add the leadership and the tactical awareness and the ability to be flexible. That's really going to dictate how well they do. But sides are going to be wary of that team. It's packed full of talent and power. So their World Cup chances, as you can imagine, they've got the weapons to go all the way. But do they have that maturity, that mentality, that championship mentality that Wales have shown to get the job done in, say, 3 consecutive knockout games? I am not sure. You guys let me know. I think they're in a pretty positive place, but they've got plenty to work on, and the stuff they're working on isn't really stuff you can work on the training ground. That's the problem. We're only really going to find out when that pressure is reapplied in the World Cup. Okay guys, until next time, I'll see you later.